This is Tom. Tom is about 35 years old, living in the suburb of Trondheim, with a family and a steady job. He is hiding something in his basement. It's stolen goods and a place to smoke his hashish when he's storming upstairs. The drug history of this town, as I know it, is that it was the largest use of amphetamine and hashish during the 80s, and then it became these house parties with ecstasy and dolcotine, and slowly during the 2000s we had a very much methamphetamine. I met Tom behind bars. I'm a social worker in Trondheim prison, and I've been working with criminals for the last 15 years in halfway houses and prison. My motivation to work with these kind of people is that I think that after their sentence, they are going back to the society, and I would like to help them to join a society as a normal citizen. My motivation for that is something different what I heard from the prison officers. They kept saying, "Why do you bother, Ozan? They just keep coming back and back. There is no use in it." But I wanted to do that. And over the years, I saw actually criminals coming back and back, and they become like long-lasting friends saying, "Hey, how are you?" It's a bit odd, but that's the truth. So I thought, what does the outside support do? Like, do they know what we are doing? What is this part of the system that we are doing something here, and behind these big, huge walls, nobody can look at us. It's hidden system. And outside, I knew from my experience that there were helping care, medical care, helping programs for housing, a lot of people who could help them. But there was no connection between them. And I was not the only one who was wondering about that. In 2002, we had a lot of overdoses in our town. Young people died or had a lot of overdoses, and the police and the city hall and the government or the locals decided to look closer to it. And I saw it, that we in the prison, we were the missing part of that work, cooperation work. Because when the prisoners get into the prison, it's like a shelter. They cut out every commitment to the families, to social workers, to every office. They just want to be there, peace and quiet, put on some weight, and then get fit and go back again. So I was wondering, how can we put this together, this cooperation? So I invited the police and some drug counselors to work with the offenders. We made a team, and a huge project saw the marketing of the first place, took the first place in Trondheim prison for gjengangerteamet. In English, I would call it more or less like a repeated offender team. It was based on a team from all of the 3 agencies, like the public services, the prison, and the police. And we saw for the first time that what was really stopping us was this declaration of privacy policy. Because an offender, he could try to tell me a story, but the police another story, and the drug counselor a totally different story, and the family didn't know at all. So that was the main problem, working together. So what we did, and also they could manipulate all the systems with this. So what we did is it was making a firm and make the criminal offender, repeated offender, to voluntarily sign up to say that we don't hide our history anymore, we are going to work together. And it was very good because that changed it all around for the offenders. For the first, he could not, going back to the hole, he could not just stay there. And for the second reason, the rehabilitation became more streamlined. So, because of that, it was very good working, and we saw it because the offenders themselves, they gained trust during time, over time. For example, many of them, when they were outside the prison, they had the same police officer and the drug counselor, which attended at a meeting inside the prison. So when they get into trouble, they picked up the telephone and called to the police and said, please, can you help me? I'm going down the wrong path again. That would never took place before. So it changed a lot. The trust between the people gathering and working together, it was meaningful for not only the offenders, but for the team as well. We learned to each other how we worked, and we can work against or towards the same goals. This was a successful story for our team, and we were invited into other groups, congresses, to show how we were working. And a lot of other cities, they were very interested in our work, especially the police. And during this time, working together, it made us very special, gaining to the focus that when the offenders themselves give all the same story to the same helpers, they also did it in the prison. So the other prisoners, they could get motivated as well. They also wanted to gain the group and come on and work together to get back to society and get tracked to whatever kind of help to establish a normal society for themselves. These are numbers that show something of it. And when we started out in 2006, there was on the x-axis, you can see the years, and on the y-axis, you can see how many crimes were committed, and especially for the thefts connected to drugs. And it was rapidly going down. Another numbers, which is very interesting, is the cost and benefit. For those who were participants in the program, we can see on the upper graph, it is showing the social benefits they get, and they're paying their house rent, and they get some little bit more money from the group or the team. We asked the state for a little bit more money so we could motivate them to stay together with us. But it is really, really a different number that you see in the bottom. That's another graph. And that is the cost of insurance, and the cost of what they, financial damage of everything they had, and also incarceration. It doesn't include the money for what the cost of the wages of lawyers, police, the court system, nothing. So we can see that the lower graph shows it's very expensive to let them go free and do whatever they like. Working hard together, that's the key. So, the impact it made, for all the reasons, there is other cities, like I said, drew attention to this team and invited us, but also property owners union, they were interested in this because they saw the special rate of thefts going down. So at the end of the day, for me as a social worker, working together with other people, it made the work very nice and very meaningful for me, because I had to motivate the prisoners to go back to the society as a functional, normal person. And it has an impact on other prisoners and impact on the whole society. Thank you.